Hello everyone and welcome to today's reading. We're going to have a look at the energy of the Divine Masculine, but particularly the Divine Masculine who's not been in contact for a while. If your Divine Masculine has been in contact for a while, then by all means watch, because there may well be elements of what they're dealing with coming through the reading, so it doesn't sort of rule you out. But we are specifically zoning in on the Divine Masculine collective who aren't in contact with you at the moment. Please remember that I will refer to the Divine Masculine as he throughout the reading, just because it's easier for me to keep one pronoun, but your Divine Masculine could be a female. Yeah, it's energy we're talking about. So, you know, it gets very confused sometimes, doesn't it? But we're talking energy, not gender. So with that, I'm going to get started. We're going to have a look firstly at the Divine Masculine's issues. What is he dealing with at the moment? So Spirit, we're asking you please to look at the Divine Masculine energy to let us know that those Divine Masculines who haven't been in contact for a while, what is it they're dealing with at the moment? We're then going to look at the Divine Masculine's emotions, and then we're going to look at what they would say to you if they were in contact. But for now, please bear in mind this is a very general reading, so not all of it will necessarily apply to your situation. If it does, then please do let us know in the comments. Okay, let's go. Spirit, we're with the Divine Masculine that's not in contact, please. Do you want me to take that? Yes. Okay, they do. We've got two together. Ooh, so we have imprisonment. We have child. Okay. Can we have two more, please, Spirit? Thank you. We have family room. We have marriage. Wow, that looks fairly straightforward to me. Interesting. So, okay, we're looking at Divine Masculines here that are feeling very trapped in their current situation. So if you have a Divine Masculine who is in another relationship, or, you know, well, yeah, is in another relationship or has responsibilities that they feel they can't get out of, that is what's causing the problem at the moment for them. It doesn't mean their intention's not there, but their current circumstances, whatever that may be, for some of them, it could be a job. And I always say that, you know, or it could be their living circumstances, but for whatever reason, they're feeling trapped by their current circumstances. However, there is a child energy here. So, you know, again, we're talking responsibilities. We're talking, you know, somebody that may be already in a relationship where children, you know, are there in the relationship. It could just be that they're already separated from a situation, but the financial obligations towards the child keep them trapped in that situation. They just said to me trying to find a way out. So it doesn't necessarily mean obviously that they're going to abandon their child and, you know, not be a good parent, but they're trying to find a way through this situation so that the child is kept protected in the circumstances. Yeah, we have, in the family room, we have a feeling of, you know, feeling sort of in quite a settled everyday environment. And when I say settled, it doesn't necessarily mean they're happy. It just means that, you know, they're in an environment where they have made it their home. Maybe for some of them it has been their home for a while, you know, especially if they're in a long-term relationship or marriage. You know, and it's become a habit, really. You know, they're sort of set in their ways, they're settled, they've got the complications of children being involved, and although they may not be necessarily happy, it does provide a certain amount of security. For others of them, again, it may come back to finance here, that, you know, they have a responsibility to keep a roof over the child's head financially, and they're trying to figure out how they could leave that situation, but also provide this roof over their child's head at the same time, because that is a financial stretch. And yes, we do have the marriage card here. So I do get the feeling that we're talking here about a divine masculine who is already in a marriage or a situation. And, you know, that is something, obviously, that is difficult to get out of if they're choosing to get out of it. We'll find out more in a moment. But yeah, this may sort of help to highlight for you whether this is your divine masculine we're talking about or not, as the case may be. Let's see how they're feeling about each of these emotions. I'm going to go for these trusty. I love these John Holland Oracle cards. They were probably my first set of Oracle cards, and they're just so dependable. I just love them. Oh. Okay, so let's see, Spirit, please. What are the feelings of the divine masculine regarding these issues? Thank you. Oh, we have suffering in silence. That came up very much in reverse. We'll come back to that in a moment because, oh, we have wisdom. Yeah, it's yes. Okay, that makes sense. I'm going to get the 4 cards and let's go back to them one by one. We have solitude. Yeah, you see, that's very interesting. Oh, wow. 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 Do you know, I love it when a reading looks so clear. I love it. So it's interesting that we had, you know, this sense of feeling trapped here, but we have suffering in silence, but in reverse. So it kind of feels that the divine masculine is accepting the current situation he's in. The divine masculine knows that, you know, whereas in the past, I think it was causing him a lot of distress. It was causing him, you know, a lot of, well, yeah, just anxiety, really, because he didn't know what to do about it, because he wasn't feeling happy. We used to see this card this way up a lot, but now we're seeing it in reverse, and I don't see that as a bad thing, because it feels like he's accepting of his situation. It feels like he's very much taking control. I don't know if you've seen last week's reading, you will see that we had the King of Swords coming up in that reading, and the King of Swords was telling us that the divine masculine is very analytical. He's thinking things through. He's being very wise and very sort of calculating about this situation. I don't mean that in a devious way, but he's literally using his mind rather than his emotions to plan the way forward. And that's why I see him being accepting of his current situation. It's almost like he's saying, do you know what? For this moment in time, I need to figure this out. I need to be wise to my situation. I need to figure this out in the best way. And therefore, I'm accepting where I am at the moment, because this is all I can do at the moment. So he's very much, again, the feeling is he's very much in his headspace. He knows he's got to make the right decision here, because, I can't pick it up, because there is a child or children involved. So he knows he's got to do what is right for them. You know, he's got to find the best way forward for them. And also, if you look in the background, let me just pop that card down there. If you look in the background here, there's people watching. And it may be that other people go to this person for advice, but I think with the energy that's coming through today, it almost feels like he wants to make the right decision so that he's not going to be judged by others, because he knows that there are other people watching his movements. They may be family members, you know, they could be close friends of them as a couple. He doesn't want to, he's going for damage limitation, basically. So he doesn't want to come out looking the bad guy, but it's more than that. It's because that sounds quite almost like a vanity thing. It's not just that. It's more about him wanting to do the best so that everybody is accepting of the situation and they're happy. So he's really, as I say, in his headspace. This is interesting because the family room, you know, in its true pure sense, is about comfort. It's about, you know, feeling I was going to say at peace, and I don't know why that came into my mind, but usually with the family room, it's that feeling of family security, you know. There's also quite an abundant atmosphere here. So it really is about, it's almost like a Ten of Pentacles card to me. But when I read this earlier, it very much came across as sort of a, just like I said, a very sort of everyday energy, you know, sort of, we've set up this home and this is where I'm at, you know, no sort of real feeling of attachment to it. And here we get the Solitude card. So even though he has, you know, this particular divine masculine has a home that he calls home, that he goes to every day, he's feeling quite lonely within it, you know. And that's why he's feeling trapped, because it's almost like a feeling that he feels he doesn't belong there. He knows that regarding this marriage, and we have a set of rings in the, well, I always call that the passion alcove because it's red. But we have a set of rings here. We have the marriage card. But this is a card that signifies movement, choices and decisions, as it says at the bottom. He knows that changes need to be made to this situation, to this relationship. They've just said in my head, run its course. Yes, you know, he's not being disrespectful to the person that he's with at this current time, which is why he's trying to sort everything out for the best in his head. But he does know that it's run its course. He does know that, you know, it's not something that he sees as a long-term arrangement. And, you know, he's looking at all areas of his life here, you know, to actually make those changes. So, yes, he's acknowledged that that's there. Before we get into messages, I'm just going to get a few tarot to see what action steps is likely to happen. Remember, this is a no contact reading. This is just telling you what is going on in his life. Shall we do... No. I was going to say what contact is he going to have with you, but I think we'll leave that for messages. So right now, I'm just going to go through and see what action steps he's going to take about this situation. We know what he feels. We know the way that he wants things to be heading. But let's see. Yeah, look, he's ready for a new start. Look at this. We have the Fool card. This is, you know, taking the leap of faith. He knows he's got to do it. And he actually, I'm getting the feeling that he actually wants to do it. For some of you, you may have a divine masculine that lives at a distance. We have obviously the ocean here, and we have a sailing ship here. So, you know, he's ready to go the distance. He's ready to take that leap of faith to change his current circumstances. But let's see what will come. Yeah, you know, again, he knows he's got this inner knowing. And, you know, there's something quite sort of creative and magical, they're saying to me, which is odd, because obviously we normally get that with the Magician card, but the High Priestess is very in tune with their intuition. The Divine Masculine, I think, has been receiving downloads over the last, certainly the last year, and Spirit are feeding them this constant menu. They've just said menu. How weird is that? But, you know, really getting him in tune with his intuition. So although, yes, he's very in his headspace in a logical manner to sort out the practicalities around this situation, he also knows that the timing is right, that his intuition is telling him that this is the right move for him. So he is definitely being guided, but the important thing about being guided, because we've seen this before in the Divine Masculine readings, and the important thing about being guided is that works well as long as you listen, you know. And what we see here is a Divine Masculine that is listening to that, to those intuitive messages. Yeah, we have the Devil card. Yeah, it's almost like, you know, when someone is sort of spending a lot of time in their head and maybe overthinking a bit. I think that some of the time at the moment, the Divine Masculine's mind is playing tricks on them, you know, and so he'll get days where he's very into this energy, he's listening to his intuition, he wants this fresh start, and other days where he says, do you know what, it's easier just to stay put. It's just easier. I won't have to deal with all this stuff to make my move, you know, I won't have to get this balance right so that people don't judge me. So some days, that's the energy he's in. Other days, he knows that it's time for him to make those changes. Can we have another card with the Devil card, please? Yeah, you know, because he knows that he needs to bring more love into his life. You know, he knows that if he makes the move, there will be the beginning of a new loving situation and loving relationship. And, you know, so yeah, he knows deep down that he needs to make those changes. But, you know, sometimes, especially when fear's present, your mind can play tricks on you. And so, yeah, and I do think that's the way that your mind rests sometimes, you know. Sometimes you just get those days, don't you, where your mind just says, just stop. Just stop, stay where you are, just stop. But other days when you go, hey, I want to make these changes. And I think that's where he's at the moment. So what's going to happen about these changes? We've already got the Leap of Faith card. So what is going to happen? That's too many, Spirit, please. Can we reshuffle? Because I'm not happy with that. Thank you. What's going to happen with these changes, please? Whoa. What's going to happen? Ooh. I don't think Spirit were happy because I reshuffled. Sorry, Spirit. Look, here we go. Let's see what they've given us. Oh, what? What? Seriously? Did I not talk about the King of Swords earlier in this reading when I talked about the Divine Masculine being in his headspace, working things out, trying to be very clear about everything and cutting through the obstacles, you know? And here we have the King of Swords. In his headspace, a decision will be made because he will work it out. He will do it in an analytical, struggle with that word, analytical fashion. And, you know, that decision will be made. I'm just noticing my camera is slipping. Apologies, because I hadn't noticed that before. There we go. Right. So yes, a decision is pending because he is in his headspace. So Spirit, if the Divine Masculine was talking to the Divine Feminine right now, what would he actually be saying? What would the Divine Masculine be saying? I'm going to try these new cards. Oop, thank you. Oh, interesting. He says, I don't want to chase anymore. That's maybe why he's not been in contact, because maybe the way that the Divine Masculine, if, you know, the last time he was in contact, maybe he knew he wasn't in a position to commit. Therefore, he's just opted out. He got fed up with the sort of sometimes energy, if you know what I mean. So sometimes he saw you, then he went back to his living situation, and sometimes he saw you again. And, you know, I think he realised that was not only harming you, but also harming him. So, you know, we have, I don't want to chase anymore. So he doesn't want that sort of back and forth energy. What else, please? What else would he say to the Divine Feminine, please? What would he say to the Divine Feminine? I let my pride get in the way of our connection. Very much in the ego state. Again, this is a Divine Masculine who likes to stay in his headspace, you know. But there may be other issues about why, you know, he has stayed in his current situation. I mean, you know, for example, maybe he's in a situation whereby he's got quite an affluent lifestyle with things being as they are, and he knows that if he upsets the apple cart, he won't have as much affluence, because he's got to start again in another set of circumstances while still maintaining a lifestyle for his child. It could be something like that. So yes, there's definitely a divine masculine that has been in his ego in the past. But he wants you to know, divine femme, that he has always felt connected to you. Again, he's getting very in tune with his intuition. It's been part of his development over the last few months, certainly, I think I would say even a year. He knows that this is a very important soul tie, and that may be something which he had pushed aside and ignored in the past and kept it very casual. But now he's recognizing the significance of your connection. He wants you to know that that's never gone away for him. Yeah, and look at this. I mean, did we have him in hermit energy? Or am I imagining that? We had, yes, we did, because we had the solitude card. So we have detachment. I had to let this go so I could clear my mind. So, you know, for a no contact reading, that sort of says it all, doesn't it? He couldn't deal with what he was going to do about his current situation at the same time as keeping in contact with you, because the waters were getting very muddy. So, you know, in order for him to sort out what he was going to do, to have this situation using, you know, to get the best outcome for everybody, he had to actually break ties with you for the time being to get that clarity. And again, we see him in a much clearer mind, because he is very much in King of Swords energy. It's come up in the last two readings for him. And look at the bottom of the deck. We have inseparable. Our love is always there despite the distance. Wow. What else would you need, seriously, in a no contact reading? Wow. So yes, I mean, I really feel that a decision is in the offing. You know, these readings are, as I said, very general. So, you know, as for timing, who knows? I have got a set of timing cards, but to be honest, yeah, I used them, I think, in last week's reading, but it's difficult when it's, you know, you're reading for so many people at the same time, because obviously timing will be different for everybody. So yeah, stay positive as always, divine femmes. Keep the faith, look after you, because I do think when this divine masculine appears finally in your life, that it will move at rapid speed, and you've got to be ready. Okay, lovely to read for you today. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you enjoyed the reading. If you do, please give it the thumbs up, and please don't forget to subscribe. Take care, everyone. Speak soon. Bye.